Number of teachers. In schools, there are, however, factors that affect the school culture and climate. One of the most prominent one is the number of teachers and students in a school. So, it is important to see what is the ratio of the students and teacher in a school, because that is also one of the prominent factor which affects the school culture. Because if there are too many students and there are no teachers available to help them because the number of teachers is less, according to the ratio, the standard that should be there, then that means many students will be neglected. Similarly, if there are more students and the ratio is according to the requirement of the number of the students, then that means the teachers will be available to support the students, and the climate and the culture of the school will be very smooth and helpful and supportive. Sometimes it is out of control for the teachers to support all the students because the number of teachers is less. Sometimes it has also been noticed in some schools, in certain cases, the number of students is less and the number of teachers is more. That is due to some logistical manner or some reason in which the number of teachers is more than the students. In that case also, the teachers can give more attention to the students, but this is very rare. Mostly the case is either the student-teacher ratio is normal as required, or the teachers are lesser in number than the students. Very few cases have been come to be known where the teachers are more than the students. Tucker in 1997, a social scientist, found that small schools have a better learning climate than large schools because in smaller schools there is a greater likelihood that faculty and students know each other. So being familiar is a factor which improves the behavior of every member of the school. So the teachers will also be knowing the students and the students would also be knowing the teachers. So Tucker actually points out towards this fact that the small schools are better in a way because learning takes place easier there, because if the student has a problem, he would know which teacher he should contact in order to get his problem solved. Also, the teacher has a lot of information about the student because there are lesser number of students and the teacher can have an account of the behaviors, their learning strategies and their learning needs, and will be able to help the student on time whenever the help is required. But again, it is just a greater likelihood that the faculty and students know each other. There could be some chances where even in a small school there are some teachers and some students who do not have interaction with each other and thus they do not know each other. Similarly, there can be large schools in which the structure and the organizational framework is such that even it is a large school with more number of students and more number of teachers, still they have a good interaction with one another and they are familiar with one another and they have an understanding of their needs and they also know where to get help from and they are supported by the teachers. But that is one of the findings that Tucker shares in 1997. He found that the schools which are smaller have better learning status and learning climate because the teachers and the students are familiar with each other and they can get their problems solved because they know one another and they can understand what are the problems. So this could be one of the factors that if the school is smaller, the teachers and students will be familiar with one another and therefore the problem solving issue would be made more fast because everybody knows everyone else and they understand each other's problems.